Hey, it's Bobby. Welcome back to now. Can we go with this thing yet? I'm actually kind of liking it. What I'm doing is just spelling out now, looking down. I don't know. Better than this, which just is so. As much as I love Namaste, uh, and I love what Namaste actually means. And when we're doing this, it's that we are bowing to the presence inside of you that is also inside of me, that when you are in that presence and I am in my presence, we are one. It's kind of like that. There's a great Rumi poem out there beyond ideas of right doing and wrong doing. There's a field. I'll meet you there. And when the soul lays down in that grass, the experience is just too full for words to even matter. It's probably not an exact quote, I'm guessing, but it is, that is the place beyond, but it's just, it's been appropriated. And I guess with COVID, we can't shake hands anymore. So it is what it is. And today I wanted to talk a little bit more about this idea of controlling our own internal experience. And a marketing consultant who has watched many of my previous work and the videos that I've done came up with this really flashy graphic for extreme personal ownership. And it was he's a talented person and it was wonderful stuff, but just so not me. Um, However, I like the idea of really owning our internal experience. And I talked in the last video about that first shift of going from the victim to the creator, and that's the first of three. The second shift is realizing that life is an inside out game and that we can return to that space within any time that we want to. And I had another client experience recently that's worth sharing. This particular client, when I met her, she had gotten a couple of pieces of bad news, a business deal that she was not really counting on, but hoping for, fell through. They did not want to do business with her at the time. And simultaneously, a car had backed into her car, drove off, no note, F you, take care of it yourself. I'm getting out of here because nobody's looking. And she was in like a not very powerful and profound state. And that's how she showed up to the meeting, which again, pure gold from my point of view, because as people work through these issues, as the issue is occurring, as the yogurt is hitting the fan, the insight that we get from that and the shift that we make from that is so powerful and so profound. Like that shift that I made with Daisy, realizing that it might not be pain, it might be fear, and realizing that fear, I can handle fear. I got fear friggin' nailed, baby. I'm not veterinary trained, so if her pancreas is acting up, I have no skill with that. But if she's scared, that's my realm, baby. And I'm very, very happy to go down that trail. So with this particular client, she came in also whacked out, also time traveling. And I want to go back to that because what you're going to notice very, very quickly I don't know when, but on some point of this journey, the next shift that happens, the second shift. So the first shift is recognizing that you're not a victim, you're not at the effect, you are the cause, you are the creator. And that's a little bit about what they were kind of talking about with law of attraction, although not really. And I don't want to get off on a law of attraction rant because I'm not a fan. Um, but the second shift, so the first shift is that you are in control of the experience. But the second shift is that life flows through you. It does not happen to you. Life is an inside out game. And once you begin to understand that, and once you really live from that point, so if you're doing your check-ins, we're a couple of weeks into this journey together. If you've been doing the check-ins diligently on a regular basis, you're beginning to notice how often those waves come and go, and you're noticing how much in control of those waves you are. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to recognize, and actually, let me go back to Teilhard's quote, Pierre Teilhard Desjardins. Yeah, not awful French that time. I think I butchered it several videos back, that we're not human beings that have occasional spiritual experiences. So what he's saying there is those awesome moments that you connect with and remember vividly, watching a child or grandchild be born. It could be being a beautiful sunset. It could be your lover telling you that he or she loves you for the very first time. It can be just looking into the eyes of somebody that you really care about, or having a really lovely, wonderful personal experience with a dear friend, having lunch with somebody that you haven't had, you haven't seen in 10 years, but you sit down and you reconnect. And it's like, man, you never skipped a beat. And this is just so beautiful. And that is life in flow, which we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. What he was communicating there is we've been conditioned to believe that that's odd, that connection is something special, that, having your breath taken away by watching the sun rise and just seeing the color of lights and, whatever it is, that's unusual, that's extraordinary, that's spectacular. But the shift is that's normal. That's who you are. That's a big friggin' shift for the vast majority of people. I know for me personally, once I got that, and for me, it required a trip to the emergency room. And I was driven there by my brother and sister-in-law, and they thought I was dying. And the emergency room doctor said, "You should be dead." And I wasn't, and I was very present. And it was in that moment that I experienced that deep level of permanent and profound and deep peace for the very first time. And when you make that shift, and I've had many, many clients that have made that shift to where that becomes normal, that awesome take your breath away type experience is your new norm. Now what happens is when you're anxious, when you're frustrated, when you're pissed off, when you're angry, whatever it is, that can become the lane loss indicators that go, oh, all right, what's going on here? Why am I experiencing this? Because it feels abnormal now. And for the vast majority of people who are walking around asleep, victims of the hypnosis of social conditioning, they don't get this. And when they do, it's so powerful and so profound to get that all of a sudden, that shift of, wait a second, I'm not feeling love, joy, bliss. What's going on? That becomes a point of inquiry. And now having the skills that we've talked about on the last couple of videos of being able to tap into and take control of that full experience make all the difference in the world. So I'm curious as to how these last couple of videos have hit you. I've recorded them almost all back to back with a couple of quick Madonna costume changes in between, so it would look fresh and new and exciting. But I'm really very interested in how this stuff is hitting you, and how's it landing in your world. And if you have questions, comments, or concerns, please share those, because I guarantee you anything that's going on in your cone is going on in the cone of many, many other people. And if you're having breakthroughs and if you're seeing things differently and all of this is landing softly and making a big difference and opening things up, please share that as well, because that's good feedback for other folks that are on this journey. And part of this is hopefully creating a nice group, a nice mastermind that we're all going through this journey together. So I hope you're well. Let me know if there's any way that I can help. If you would like to explore one of the groups or some one-on-one work, feel free to shoot me a message. I've got a pretty quick process that I can take you through to figure out where you ought to be next. And so ciao for now. Thanks for tuning in.